point at your music in that it's it's using synthesizers in a way that is reminiscent of the '80s. Does that term rub against you the wrong way, or is it you don't mind that kind of?
No. I mean, I understand perfectly well. The association. I just would like to argue, again, as I just said, that it's not merely nostalgia.
Right.
But it has this. What is it remembering? Is it the commercials we saw when we were children, or is it this whole deeper, thing of modality and the mass and this and all these other things? Some critics have suggested, that the thing can be thought purely in terms of some kind of retro or whatever.
Right.
They would insist upon thinking it. And that would be something I would, have contention with, certainly, because I think, it's more a question of picking a thread up, where it might have dropped, than it is about the return.
Going backwards.
Yeah.
Retro suggests you're regressive.
Right.
And so with a lot of this, this Renaissance music and the medieval music, being filtered through the '80s music, it also ends up, for instance, one of that Metroid clip we were listening to. Yeah, this is some video game music by a Japanese composer. It plays on the video game Metroid from it's a Nintendo game from the '80s, and I think both of us played.
Yeah. I mean, this is the type of thing, whatever in the '80s middle class kid would have heard on loop for hours and hours and hours on end. We would have been subjected to that music. Yeah. But I think it is wonderful. I think it is, arguably full of musical imagination, harmonic imagination that I would put up against a lot of the celebrated rock and roll music of '86.
Right.
You know what I mean? We could have a question about God Save the Queen versus, or The Queen is Dead versus Hip Tanaka there.
That's Hip Tanaka.
That's certainly a much bigger influence on me, for better or worse, than Hip Tanaka. You know what I mean?
Is it stuff you have constantly gone back to, or what stuff that influenced you sort of unknowingly as a kid? Both. Yeah.
Absolutely both. It is something I've gone back to, because it seems, when I'm looking for ideas to work with, it seems like you've almost always got to look under rocks. It's rarely just right there for the taking. In fact, it seems to me it's never there. It's never right in front of you. So you got to look in the strangest places, to find interesting ideas to begin to explore and to work with.
And these were probably people who had come out of music school, composers who...
Yeah. We talked about that. I mean, in Anne Bryant would be another example.
Oh yeah, you gotta play that.
We could play two other things that
Transformers.
Yeah. I mean, so I think something interesting happens versus maybe the teenagers who just drink beer and thrash around on their instruments, and then the dorky music school types who then try to make pop music for a TV show or something like that, for a theme like this, this theme.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their power to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.
That is bizarre.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Not knowing what, if you didn't know where that came from, you know,
The
that's
chromatic figures that just come out of nowhere, the sound effects. I mean, she
the
did,
rhythms constantly shifting.
and she had to write dozens and dozens of songs for the television cartoon Gem. So here's an example of this.
On your way down, I say my prayer, you're taking the fall. Congratulations, you gave up the crown. You lost the game and it's winner take all. Congratulations to me, congratulations to me. You don't stand a chance against the likes of me. Take a backward glance, cause to me history. Congratulations to all that you say. These people saying congratulations to me. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to me.
The Tangerine Dream.
This is Tangerine Dream,
Yeah, they did this.
They were
This has the sound I would say that's glorious. You know what I mean? That's glorious. And I say something really ridiculous too. I mean, I walked around a tiny bit, and I know, of course, it's a ridiculous thing to say, but I did not see anything that glorious. You understand? That is glorious. The dark motorcycle and the terrible, cheesy lighting and the Tangerine Dream. I mean, that's the glory that I aspire to. Do you know what I mean? It's not so heavy-handed at any point that in the glorious aspect of it, or sublime, or whatever you would say, it's more confounding to me than, for instance, a lot of maybe nominally explicit experimental music today would make a heavy-handed point to using microtones, or a heavy-handed point to being noise. All of that is sublated into this in sense of the timbre, in sense of the strange sound effects that fill it out sculpturally, but then also have this theatrical effect of suggesting the squealing of tires on pavement, or the revving of an engine. It invokes all of those dimensions that noise simply placed into constellation with itself or other noises might, and then in addition to that, other dimensions that noise is capable of affording. I think it's ultimately a more complicated and sophisticated glory. I don't know, but
it doesn't.
an idiot.
The cultural spot it occupies is not one we're expected to.
Yeah. But that, those hard and fast lines, I thought we were far beyond those. The question for me is that is the thing itself, reckoning with that in terms of its eminent details, and so I don't context or not, it's still this artifact that I'm looking at, and so whether the question is timbral sophistication, whether the question is a complex relation to media technology, whatever the question is, I find an artifact like this more provocative than a lot of the artifacts that would explicitly claim to address these sorts of things,
Yeah, and you came to this too after the fact. It wasn't as if you were watching Street Hawk a ton as a kid. Right?
No. I mean, this is what I mean. You're looking for interesting ideas, and you just look. I mean, I went through dozens and dozens of French, of these theme songs this sort of thing. Looking for ideas, and yeah. So that's why I was turning to it.
Would you ever be interested in placing music in these kind of cultural contexts, video games, commercials, TV shows, or is it more interesting to you to pull music?
I don't know. I mean, it would be really interesting to do a film score, I think. And then with the commercial, I mean, in a conversation aside from music, just in terms of the politics of any given context, you're an advertising ad at that point. When you're selling blueberries or whatever, like your song is in a blueberry commercial, there's part of me that finds that detestable, but I do it in a second to pay off my student loans. I wondered what would happen if I did it. Could I make some kind of underhanded apology? Look at at least Blueberry is paying for 8 years of anarchist theory or something like that. Would people forgive me? So I do it in a second, I suppose, just to get that $500,000 from over my head. But you
were talking about the thing itself. You were talking about how you can, regardless of the context, you're interested in the musical content. So in that way, it seems like you could get beyond context and be able to focus on the detail.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's the difference between my own conscience and just seeking out things to. It's not something I hold it's not anybody else to account for. You know what I mean?
Right.
But and it's often seems where you find a lot of interesting ideas. You know what I mean? The thing is going a little slow where